Hey guys, welcome back to Cruiserman's Inventions, and big hi to all my new subscribers and stuff. You know guys, these are washing machine motors, and as you can see, I've rewired this one and I've done a pretty good job on that, and it works perfect. It works perfect. It's just that the first time I rewired one of these, I gave a wiring diagram that was of the 12-volt nature. This here is far, far more advanced than when I first started my YouTube channel. This here is now wired differently. Where can I start? Here's my 3 phases coming in. Get off. So these are my 3 phases coming in. And as you can see, I start at positive, negative earth, and then I do a jump. See, they do a jump. I explained it really well in my first video, and I couldn't have explained it any better. I can't even explain it now, but I've done it right, and it's perfect. And there's 8.5 turns per pole, perfectly all the way around. I done this a little while ago, guys. That's why it's sort of... But somebody questioned on this, and this is why I'm doing this video now, is old terminology to new terminology is different. Some people call these A, B, C. Some people call them positive, negative earth. I've rewired this whole thing around backwards. It is wired on the 48-volt wiring diagram. That means that every 3 that you wire in and tie it off at the end is 12 volts. Now, if you double it up to... Some of you aren't going to understand this. It's a real trial and error thing that you just got to go through yourself. Now, what determines the actual rotation of the outfield magnet stator is when you... here's a controller up here, guys. This wasn't even supposed to be my video right now, but seeing as though someone commented on it, I thought, well, okay, I'll show you to the best of my ability at the moment, because I'm right in the middle of something else. As you can see, there's a yellow, a blue, and a green. They are actually labeled positive, negative, and earth, but they also label them in today's terms as A, B, and C, so that when you get your motor, it's the same wiring diagram, same color, and it's labeled A, B, and C, so the thick asses can get it right, okay? But it's really still... It's alternating current, but the field wire, what determines the rotation of the motor, it's still positive, negative earth. Now, if you changed it around, it changes the rotation of the motor, which means the motor spins backwards. Now, all of these... Now, some questions that came up. Now, can this 3,000 watt controller run a stator that's stock out of a washing machine? Now, I'll tell you about these stators, guys. These stators, some of them are aluminium. The brandy candy wine color here, this deep color, that's not copper. It's aluminium. And how you know is over here, AL60. AL, alloy. That's what that stands for. 190T is 190 turns per pole. Look, I could ramble about these motors all day. It's just that I've already completed the impossible on this bike, guys, and I've already set some records on this bike with these motors. And now I wasn't as good as the Italian fella overseas. I'm in New Zealand, and that's what we do here. We create new things. Now, I want this as an everyday bike, and 47 Ks just wasn't good enough for me. 1,000 watt controller. This is 3,000, but 1,000 watt controller on these motors, it ran it perfect. It didn't glitch. It didn't do all the things in my video, guys, right? Only this one did, because I tested it out at its peak power to see what this motor would do. That's why that came about like that, right? Now, if you go back in wiring diagrams back in the old days, they had all these motors and stuff back then, but they didn't call them like A, B, and C. No, they had proper polarities, like your plug does, that you plug into the wall, like these. Here, they actually have a P on them. It tells you the positive wire, the negative wire, the earth wire. They have it written on there. Don't get it wrong. You'll soon learn the hard way. But with these, there's a little bit of leeway where you can wire them back the other way and turns the rotation back the other way. Now, as for alternators, if you power up the center coil after redoing this, that does not determine the rotation of these motors. No, the actual alternating field wires determines that rotation in which the motor spins. Now, the reason why I rewired this motor backwards, guys, see, I'm running out of time already, but I'll tell you, the reason why I rewired it backward is because they spin a certain way in the washing machine. I rewired it back the other way because giving the higher RPM, because if you put these things in reverse and make it spin the other way, you're only getting half the guts out of the motor, and the motor's only spinning half the RPM. So I wanted it to spin a certain way. It was on the other side of this bike. I wanted it to spin this way, so I had to rewire the whole motor backwards to get my full RPM out of the controller. So guys, I hope this actually answers a lot of your questions. And about these, they're stupid. They're really stupid. I fell in love with these motors, I really did. But now the alternator is really taking over. If you can get a high-powered alternator, convert that, guys. That's where my thinking's at right now. My first video was a little while ago, and I'm going to use this even as a motor, but on a lathe. So yeah, with a potentiometer instead of a throttle. So it'll still be working, but as something else, not as my bike. No way. I want speed. I'm not going to get it out of that. Okay. Cool, guys. Hope that answers some questions. Awesome stuff. Cruiser man out, guys.